You ever feel like you're stuck in a loop? You set a new goal, you're all fired up, you start making these big changes, and then a few weeks later, you're somehow right back where you started. It is so frustrating, right? And it feels like a total personal failure. But what if the way we think about change is just fundamentally wrong? Let's get into this, because what we're going to talk about today is a brutally honest, but I think an incredibly powerful way to look at it.
So here's the root of the whole problem. We all have this vision, right, of a future us, more disciplined, healthier, more productive. We imagine this awesome new life we want to build for ourselves. And there it is. That's the trap. We try to bolt all these new actions and habits onto our old identity. It's like trying to run brand new, amazing software on a computer from like 1998. It's just not compatible. It is absolutely destined to crash.
And this right here has a name, the self-deception trap. It's this weird paradox where we want a totally different future, but we're unconsciously, or maybe we are aware, clinging to the person we are right now. Your old identity, it's going to fight tooth and nail to protect its old habits because that's its comfort zone. That's all it knows. All right, so this kind of blows up that whole famous just do it idea, right? We're always told that if you just force yourself to do the thing, everything else will magically fall into place. But what if that entire model is completely backwards? I mean, it's a question we really have to ask ourselves. If all it took was sheer willpower and just doing stuff, we'd all be living our dream lives by now. But we're not. And that's because motivation, it's like a battery with a limited charge. It always burns out. And when it does, what's left? Well, your old identity is just sitting there, waiting to pull you right back into those same old familiar patterns. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the common lie we all tell ourselves. Force the actions, get the results, and then maybe you'll feel like you have a new identity. But the hard truth, it works the complete opposite way. It has to start with identity. That's what drives your actions almost automatically, which in turn, and only then, gets you the results you actually want. Which brings us to the absolute heart of the matter. Lasting, real transformation isn't about what you do, it's about who you decide to be. Your identity is the real engine here. Just let that sink in for a second. The results you want will never, ever happen if you're still clinging to the person you are right now. Think about it. Someone who sees themselves as unfit might force themselves to go to the gym for a week, but a person who truly identifies as an athlete, they don't have to force it. It's just who they are. That identity shift has to come first. It's non-negotiable. So think of your identity like the architectural blueprint for your life. It is the master plan. It dictates everything else without you even having to think about it. It decides which thoughts you listen to. It guides all those tiny little choices you make all day long. And your big actions, they're just a byproduct of that blueprint. So here's the key. You don't try to renovate the building one room at a time. You change the entire blueprint, and the whole structure just reconfigures itself. Okay, so you're probably thinking, if identity is the key, how in the world do I actually change it? Well, it all comes down to asking one single, incredibly powerful question that can literally reframe your entire approach. We're all programmed to ask this, right? We make lists of all the things we need to add to our lives. Okay, I'm going to wake up earlier. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to hit the gym. But see, this is still focusing on action first. It's the wrong question. This is it. This is the question that unlocks everything. Not what should I start doing, but who do I need to stop being? Are you the procrastinator? Or maybe the person who always quits? How about the anxious overthinker? You cannot build a new you on top of that old crumbling foundation. You have to let that person go. And this big shift in focus leads us to something called the power of subtraction. See, real growth isn't about adding more stuff to your to-do list. It's about having the courage to shed what's no longer serving you. It's the art of unbecoming the person you've been, so you can finally reveal the person you're truly meant to be. So how do you actually do this? Well, the process is brilliantly simple. Step 1, you name that old identity. Give it a label, like the procrastinator. This takes it out of the abstract and makes it something real you can observe. Step 2, you become a detective. You identify its playbook. What are its go-to excuses, its signature bad habits, its negative thoughts? And then, step 3, the most critical part, you interrupt those patterns the second they appear. The moment you catch yourself thinking, I'll do it tomorrow, you recognize it, you say, nope, that's the procrastinator talking, and you consciously choose a different path right then and there. So let's end with this really powerful idea. Your future self isn't some new person you have to build from scratch. They're someone you reveal. They are already in there, just buried underneath years of bad habits, limiting beliefs, and old identities. The real work isn't about adding something new. It's about chipping away at everything you are not. So the real question for you is, what are you willing to let go of?